Hey everyone, it's Chris here at Bluerhino Safaris. Very excited. There's a trip that is back on my itinerary for 2025. I haven't had this trip for 3 or 4 years now, and it is one of my favorite trips. And when I was looking at my website, just going through setting up everything and getting it sorted out for next year and starting with 26 already, I realized a very interesting fact that you might not have noticed before. If you go onto my website, you'll see there's this series of pictures. You can scroll through them, um, and you'll find this picture. And this picture is actually on this trip that I'm talking about, the Liuwa Plains trip. And this picture was taken in Liuwa Plains. And then there's another picture on the trip, which is this one with a cheetah. If you know Liuwa Plains, it's close to the airfield. Then that cheetah is also on the Liuwa Plains trip. So there's two pictures on the tour, which is Liuwa Plains. And then this picture of the wild dogs is also on the same trip. 3 of the pictures of my homepage comes from one single trip. And that is my Bats and Liuwa Plains trip. This one was taken in Kafue National Park in the northern section. So as I say, I'm very excited. It is back on my itinerary in 2025 in November. Why do we pick these dates? Well, in November, the rain season starts. If you go in October, it's really very hot there. It's blue skies and the sun will kill you. You're waiting for the overcast conditions, for the first bits of rain to come in. The wildebeest, 50,000 wildebeest come down from Angola. They are in the area. They are busy calving. So you see the calves, you see the rollers rolling. That's the only place I've ever seen a roller rolling in the sky. So this trip is really an awesome trip. It's one of those that is very specific in the window that you pick, because the bats are also only in northern Zambia at a certain time when a certain fruit is out, and they are there for that specific fruit. So we are going up to Zambia 2025 November for the Liuwa Plains and bat migration trip. So I go to my 2025 calendar and you will see the routes that's on there already. So this is 2025, and if you scroll to the right, you will see Zambia, Bats and Liuwa. Click on that, and then you have the bat migration and Liuwa Plains. 12 November is the departure date, 14 nights in total, so it's 2 weeks. Camping obviously 19,600, and this includes all your camping fees, all your park fees for SADC people. International guests, the parks charge you more, but for us in SADC, 19,600 is our fee for, or the cost for the trip. As I say, it includes all your camping fees, all your park fees. The only thing it doesn't include is your bat experience. So you sleep in the park, it's there, I pay for that. But whatever you want to do with regards to the bats, you want to do a morning visit, you want to climb a tower, you want to take a guided tour, there's many options that you can take. And it will cost you about $30 to $50 per person for whatever configuration of bats you want to do. So you just take that a little bit of cash with you, and then you can do the bats in the morning, in the evening, guided tour, whatever you want to do. It doesn't make a difference. Total distance in Zambia, 3,200 kilometers. Children, over 12s, welcome on my trip. So if you want to, over 12s, yes. Group size maximum 12 guests. It's around about, my groups. It's 12 to 14 guests maximum. I don't take big groups. I don't like it. I prefer the smaller groups. Then if you go over to the website itself, the web page for the Kasanka Bat migration and the plains. This again is a picture in Liuwa Plains. Very well known for the cranes that you see there. It is really absolutely spectacular. The itinerary is there, so you can have a look at the itinerary. But let me go through the trip with you and you'll understand what's going on. Our first night we will meet in Nata. One of the reasons I meet in Nata is I can get to Nata in a day. So I don't need to leave a day early to meet you. I can get out in the morning 4-5 o'clock and I can get to Nata in one day. So we start at Nata, then it's a 3-hour drive up to the Kasane border post at Kazankula. We cross and we sleep in Livingston. The falls is at its lowest at this point. We are waiting for the summer rains. There's no Angola water. So the falls are at its lowest when Livingston discovered the falls exactly the same time in November, and therefore we don't really spend time at the falls because there's not too much to see. So Livingston is just a stopover, but if you want to quickly pop into the falls, you are welcome to do that. Then from Livingston we head up to Lusaka. We sleep in Lusaka for the night, and that is so that we can stock up at the Pick n Pays and the ShopRites. There's lovely shops in Lusaka these days, so everything that they took from you in Botswana because you brought stuff over the border that you shouldn't have, you can buy in Lusaka. Then from Lusaka we head up towards the Copperbelt, and then our final campsite, which is a staging area for us going into Kasanka National Park for the bats. So we leave there early morning, we get into the bat area, we'll be there lunchtime, it's not a long drive, settle down, sort ourselves out, and then whoever wants to do the bats for the evening, we'll do the bats that evening. Then we sleep there. The next morning there will be a bat opportunity for those who want to do it early morning, and then we are there for the day. You can drive around a bit, there's not too much to see, so it's nice to sit in camp and just read a book. Lovely trees, a lot of sitatunga that you might never have seen in your life, little bookies that you don't find in the Delta because they're so scarce. And then we'd have our second night in Kasanka. So again, an opportunity to do the bats, and that will be our bat experience. So just a comment on the bats. People freak out about this. The bats we're talking about is the straw-colored fruit bats. And straw-colored fruit bats are like as big as a body dog. They are huge things, and they fly high above. So when we go for the sightings, we go out, find one of the platforms, or we sit in our vehicles, or however you want to do it, it doesn't matter. And then you wait for sunset, and as soon as the sun sets, you'll start seeing the bats coming out. The next moment you have this massive amounts of bats, varying between 5 and 8 million, depending on who counts them and when they count them. But they do count them with cameras and technology. But yes, then you have all these bats going out to feed for the night. It's a spectacular sight. You don't get covered with bat poo or anything. You don't have to take a rain jacket. It's really a clean experience. We normally go out there, boil a kettle, have coffee, have a glass of wine, depending on which time of the day you're doing it. But it is really an awesome experience. For me, I rate it next to gorillas, next to the wildebeest migration, next to visiting Morocco. This really is spectacular to do. So that's 2 nights at the bats. Then we come back to our staging area and we settle in for the night just to get the bats behind us. The next day we depart down to Kafue National Park, and we spend 2 nights there. Just because we are there, we can see it. And these days I go into the southern area, so we are there for 2 nights, and on the day we go into the southern area. Again, it's included in your park fees, or in your fees. So I pay for your entry into the park, and we go out for that as day visitors, just to visit the park on the southern side. Once we're done with that, we head over to Mongu, get a few things if we need a last few things. It's a bit of a long day, so we don't want to waste too much time, but then into Liuwa Plains National Park, and we sleep there for 3 nights. One of my favorite campsites in the middle of the park, and we drive a little bit north on the one day. We visit King's Pools, we visit the Palms, Pelican Pan. I've been there many times. It's a really great park. They have introduced lions again. You saw the cheetah on the picture. There's wild dog there. There's a lot of hyena there. And the wildebeest come down from Angola. They are calved there or in the area. And we normally see a lot of youngsters, young wildebeest in the area. So it's really spectacular. The summer birds, end of November, are returning already. So we see a lot of the summer birds that are there. As I say, I've seen a roller roll only there, nowhere else ever before. So skimmers, really nice birds. It's spectacular to go to Liuwa Plains, just as the rainy season comes. If you go to Liuwa Plains in December, you can still try your luck. Middle December, you're going to run out of luck and the whole place is going to get flooded. So it's a very specific window that we're looking for again. Once we're done there, we head out of the park, down with the Zambezi. We sleep at the lodge on the way back down, through Katima area, down to Kasane, And I head back to Joburg. If you want to turn right at Katima and go down to the Cape Town area, then you can follow the Cape Reef Strip and through Namibia and down back home. So then I'm on my way home again. It is a really good trip. It is really spectacular. It is one of those that I divide Zambia into two pieces. The one is the northern section with the falls and Lake Tanganyika, and then you have the western section. Now this is more a western section, but I include the bats because they are there and we have to see them. It's brilliant to see them. It is one of those unbelievable experiences, and to combine that with other parks in Zambia is just great. So I will be with you to cross the border. Make sure that you cross into Zambia safely, that all your paperwork is correct. So that's what I do. I don't meet you in Zambia. I'll meet you in Botswana, which is easy to get to. There's no issues there. Very good. If you want to join, please send me a mail. I already have a vehicle on the trip. And it is going to be a popular one next year. So if you want to join, please do so. The last thing I wanted to mention is there's a few extra trips on the website that you might not be aware of. Let me go to 25. You will see in Zambia, if you go to the Zambia trip, you will see there is an additional trip on the 4th of August. I have an extra trip that I just introduced. My first two trips that I arranged there was fully booked, and I've managed to get more dates in August, which will be brilliant. That trip is already half booked, so there's only space for 2 or 3 more vehicles, and then that one is also full. So if you wanted to go to Zimbabwe next year, I do still have a spot or two on the 4th of August, which is available. So let me know. There will be a Lesotho trip in the winter. There it is. Lesotho luxury route in the winter. That one is also now available. So if you feel like going to Lesotho, it's a large trip, no camping, no cooking. We have breakfast and dinner included in your cost, and 4 nights in Lesotho. It's always a nice trip. I love doing it. We go for the snow, but depending on the climate at the time, it might snow, it might not. Who knows? Who cares? It's just really nice to drive through Lesotho. For 4 days, we sleep in the country at 4 of the best lodges. We start in Wepener, we end at Sani Pass on the Friday afternoon at lunchtime. We finish at the bottom of Sani Pass. Brilliant trip as well. But yeah, if you want to go to any of these trips, there's the Kasanka Bat and Liuwa. Then there's an additional trip for Zimbabwe, and now the Lesotho one is also up on the website. So you are welcome to make your booking. Book with me. Send me your email, phone me, send me a WhatsApp, whatever you need to do to get your space, and then we can organize it from there. Have a great day, drive safe, and I'll see you on the next trip. Cheers.